What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the It Girl Mindset. I'm so excited to get into today's episode. Per usual, I literally say that every time, and I'm like, I need to think of something else to say, but I just genuinely love being in your guys' ear and on your YouTube if you're watching this so freaking much. So anyways, today we're getting into why you overeat at night and what your body's actually trying to tell you, okay? So this episode is going to be really helpful for you. I'm going to give you my 3-step method if you really struggle with binge eating at night, if you feel super snacky all the time, and really just if you're feeling out of control with food. I know for me, I struggled so insanely hard with binge eating, and it made me feel like a crazy person because I was like, why? Like, it's food. Why do I feel so out of control when I'm around it? Once you learn this 3-step process, you're really just going to feel super in control of your eating, and you're not going to be afraid of the pantry at night. I know I used to feel so afraid of the pantry, which I literally used to write little notes to, like, do not eat food. Ugh, I wish I could hug my younger self. Anyways, you're just going to feel so empowered by your choices, okay? So let's get into the 3-step process. Step number 1. The reason you binge eat at night is for one of 2 reasons, okay? 1, you're either not eating enough food throughout the day, so you're actually physically hungry. So that's a true physical hunger. And then number 2 is you're not dealing with your emotions. So it's actually an emotional craving and not a true hunger cue, okay? So step number 1, you're going to ask yourself, is this physical hunger where I'm actually just hungry and not eating enough throughout the day? Or is this more of an emotional hunger where you're just not dealing with your emotions and you're looking to do something to comfort those emotions or suppress those emotions, okay? If you chose number 1 where you're like, wait, no, I actually don't think I feel physically hungry, it's not some sort of emotional thing, that means you're not eating enough food throughout the day. And so what you're going to do if you're not eating enough food throughout the day and you're about to go snack at night, 1, I want you to grab a snack that has protein, fiber, whatever it may be, so you can actually honor your body and listen to that hunger cue. 2, you're going to write down all of the food you're going to eat tomorrow. Okay, you're just going to map out, okay, what is a nutrient-dense breakfast, what is a nutrient-dense lunch and dinner and snack if you need one too, okay? I want you to write that all out as an action item so you're like, okay, I know I'm going to fuel my body tomorrow. So that's what you're going to do. Okay, if it's a physical hunger, you're going to honor that hunger cue. You're going to eat something that has protein, fiber, fats, okay? Something that's actually going to be substantial, not some sort of snacky food that's just going to be empty calories and it's not going to make you feel any more satisfied or full. And then you're going to write down what you're eating for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, okay? Fiber, protein, fats, make sure they're whole foods, okay? If you're not dealing with your emotions and you're trying to suppress them, you are going to follow the emotional eating rewire protocol. This is exactly what I teach my clients, okay? So in the rewire protocol, essentially what you're going to do is step number 1 is figure out what the emotion that you're avoiding is. Maybe it's jealousy, maybe it's anger, maybe it's shame, maybe it's loneliness, maybe it's boredom, whatever it may be, you need to get to the root of what that actual emotion is. And to figure out that emotion, you have to just sit in it for a second, okay? Maybe you're feeling stressed from work, or maybe overwhelmed from work. Maybe you actually are just bored and don't have anything to do. Maybe you're feeling really lonely because maybe your partner's out of town, or maybe someone that you were talking to maybe like ghosted you, whatever it may be, okay? Whatever the emotion is, you need to sit and understand what that is first, okay? That's step number 1. Step number 2 is whatever the emotion is, you are going to do one thing to regulate and heal that emotion, okay? So step number 1, we're figuring out what it is. You also need to feel that emotion. And step number 2 is whatever the emotion is, we need to find one thing that's going to make you feel better, okay? So maybe you figured out that you're really stressed out, okay? So now what's one thing that you can do other than food that's going to make you feel better, okay? Whether that is going for a walk, putting some cold water on your face, doing a meditation, doing some EFT tapping, whatever it may be, you're going to do at least one thing to be able to heal that, okay? And process that emotion, okay? Maybe it's journaling, whatever it may be. But even, okay, boredom. What's the opposite of boredom? Or what can you do to make your boredom feel better? Okay, find something fun. Find something that brings you joy. Maybe that is going on a walk and listening to a podcast. Maybe it's coloring while watching a movie. Maybe it is going to a yoga class or a workout class or whatever it may be, okay? So The point is, we're doing one thing to help heal that emotion, okay? We're not avoiding the emotion, we're dealing with it, okay? Because the more you start to, this is a tangent, but the more you start to just push your emotions down, your body doesn't physically they don't just evaporate. They get stored in your body. So we want to let them go and process them as it comes, okay? That's why so many people, I used to be like this too, where I would just push everything down. I wouldn't deal with my emotions. And then one day I would just like burst and I would just be freaking out and not being able to handle any emotions, crying, not even understanding why I was so upset. I would go binge eat, okay? I would just completely throw myself off. So you need to deal with your emotions. That's why so many people go to food, because food is one of those things where we can easily distract ourselves. Okay. We get that dopamine hit, especially why people with snacky foods, we get that dopamine hit and we're not even getting full. So it feels like you can just eat it forever and keep getting that dopamine hit. Okay. So again, I want to make this very clear. Step number 1, what is the emotion you're feeling? Step number 2, one thing to regulate yourself and process the emotion. Okay. Now, step number 3 is you get to proceed from a place of empowerment. Okay. Once you do that one thing, you get to still eat that snacky food if you want to. Okay. And I know you're like, whoa, Ashley, we're trying to avoid that. But this is the thing. When it comes to food freedom, you can't tell yourself that you can't have that food. Okay. Because that's going to make you want it more. So this way, when you consistently start to rewire your neural pathways to be like, okay, I'm dealing with an emotion. Okay, I'm going to do something that's going to make me feel better other than food. And then after that, if you still want to eat the food, you let yourself eat the food, because the more often you do that, the less you're actually going to go for the food, and your brain's going to rewire to be like, okay, I know that I'm feeling this uncomfortable emotion. I'm going to deal with it. You go deal with that emotion. And again, the more you do that, the more repetitive, your body's just going to start craving the actual comfort or the journaling or the walk or whatever. And you're going to stop associating, okay, I feel an emotion. I need to go eat some food, or I need to go binge on food. Okay. Again, this takes conscious effort and you do have to practice it. But once you even do it a couple times, your brain is going to start to naturally be like, okay, I'm just going to I don't feel like I need to eat some food. I'm actually going to go for a little walk and just kind of like maybe shake my hands out or go do some movement or journal or call a friend, whatever it may be. Here's the thing too I want to mention. I think it's great if you need to deal with your emotion and call a friend. But if that friend's not available, I don't want you to spiral. So I would rather you try first to, okay, I'm going to deal with this emotion on my own in some capacity. And then if you want to call the friend or whatever, do that too. But again, I've had so many clients have so much success with this. I had a client who she really struggled. She worked really late at night, and then she would come home at like 11 p.m. and she just would binge on everything, and she would eat super unhealthy, or she would drive to Taco Bell and just like eat a bunch of Taco Bell in her car. So she used this 3-step process to really understand, was this actually an emotional or is this physical? And then if it was emotional, she was able to rewire her pathways and her neural pathways in her brain to be like, okay, I'm feeling this uncomfortable emotion. I'm now going to choose something that's going to nourish me, whether that is, journaling, taking a bath, whatever it may be, okay, whatever she needed in that moment. And she completely healed her relationship with food. So this framework is so powerful, especially the emotional eating rewire protocol. If you follow those steps, you will see so much progress with your relationship with food, okay? Because food freedom is just a fucking vibe, honestly. I think so much about that younger version of me and how much she struggled with food and how it consumed her whole entire life. And I couldn't even enjoy the fun parts of life because I was worried about if this food was going to make me fat, or if somebody was thinking about the food I was eating. Food freedom is just a fucking vibe, okay? It's just creates so much freedom and joy in your life because you're not spending all of your energy thinking about food. This step-by-step process that I just walked you through, the emotional eating rewire protocol, my clients actually get access to an activation session where it's almost like a coaching session in your ear where I'm essentially walking you through this step by step. So when you're in those moments of, oh, I really want to binge eat, but you think it's something emotional, you can just pop that in your ear and I walk you through these steps so you can choose differently and you do feel empowered. It is so insanely powerful, and I've gotten such amazing feedback from my clients just saying how they were about to binge eat, but then they didn't because they listened to this activation session. And that's what's in the Body Confidence Collective. You get a million, they're essentially coaching sessions in your ear. So in those in-between moments where you're like, should I choose to work out or not? Should I eat this healthy meal or not? I'm essentially coaching you in your ear, and they're like 3 to 5 minutes. They're freaking amazing. Not to toot my own horn, but they're absolutely so insanely powerful. And I'm walking you through to motivate you yourself and empower you to actually make the decision that's aligned with your goals. So I don't know. I just feel generous. I just made this up on the spot. But if you want exclusive access to a motivation to work out activation session where you will literally put it in your ear and it will motivate you to go work out, it is so insanely powerful. Again, I've gotten amazing feedback on this from all of my clients. Go ahead and DM me on Instagram the word workout, and I'll send you exclusive access to this motivational session. It is so insanely powerful. You're never going to miss a workout if you put that in your ear. Okay. All right, my loves, that wraps up this episode. I really just wanted to give you an espresso shot of information. And some tactical information that you can go and do right now. And if you love this episode, don't forget to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts. The link is in the show notes below to write a written review. And on Spotify, you can just click the stars at the top. If you know a friend that needs to hear this, please send it their way. It really helps the podcast grow. And I'd love to hear any takeaways you had from this episode too, if you've struggled with this before. And once you try this, I want to hear all of your wins, okay? All right, my love, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next episode.